So welcome to this K-Vision podcast. This is the key podcast to listen to if you're looking for some motivation and inspiration, even a positivity in your life, in ophthalmology and beyond. I am Tina Khanam, your host, and I have the pleasure in welcoming you to this podcast, season 1, episode 1. We have a very special guest all the way from Los Angeles today. He's the one and only Uday Devgan, who's inspired and motivated a lot of us, including me, during my career in ophthalmology. Uday.
Well, thank you. As you know, my big fun project is cataractcoach.com, where we now get 1 million views across all platforms per month.
Amazing.
More than 30,000 a day.
Amazing. How did that come about? How did you come up with the cataractcoach.com?
Well, I've always had great teaching videos online. So I spent my career doing about 50% or half my career, half my week doing private practice and half doing academics.
Mm-hmm.
And with academics, I taught at a very big residency program here in Los Angeles called UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And we had 8 residents a year and I did it for 22 years. So if you look back, even 20 years ago, I had good teaching material, good teaching videos online, but it wasn't very well organized.
Mm.
And then about 7-8 years ago, I had an idea. I said, you know what if I put it all in one spot online, gathered all my materials. And then I said, let me challenge myself. Could I do a new video every week? And I said, you know what? Even better. Can I do a new video every day?
Wow. So you've your target increased each time. So you went from to every day. That's amazing. And it's very early in the morning. You said you like to wake up early. What's your morning routine like usually?
Right. It's about 6 a.m. here in Los Angeles right now. I'd wake up very early. So usually about 4:30 is my favorite time to wake up.
Wow.
And I just find that the time between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. is just like almost a magical time for me. I go to the operating room very early. So I live in a huge city, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And as you know, with any huge city, traffic is quite the burden, quite a challenge. So for me, if I leave home early in the morning and I get to my surgery center by 5 a.m. or 5:15, I'll start my surgery by 5:45 in the morning.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
How do the patients feel coming so early in the morning for their
surgery? They love it.
Okay.
In fact, it's my most popular time spot of the early ones because there's no traffic in Los Angeles at all.
Yeah. And is that quiet lull before everything starts, isn't it?
It's beautiful and it's quiet, it's peaceful. I'm at my best. And then I finish my whole full day, if I start at 5:45 in the morning, by 1 o'clock, I'm done for the whole day.
Excellent. So when did this morning routine start? Have you always been a morning person?
Yeah, I've always been a morning person. I've always I like to go to bed early. Even on New Year's Eve, I'll have a hard time staying up until midnight.
Wow. Okay. And what's your usual bedtime?
It varies, but let's say about 9 o'clock on average.
Yeah, I think that, I tend to be similar. I'm a morning person rather than an evening person. And I think you get more done. You feel a bit more productive if you go to sleep early and wake up early. And you feel more useful during the day. I don't know how you felt with that.
Some people are night owls, and that works for them. But for me, I like to eat early. So even on my clinic day, when I'm not doing surgery, I still get to my clinic at about 5 a.m.
Wow.
And the reason is from 5 a.m. till 7 a.m. is 2 hours of absolute quiet. Even the phone won't ring in the clinic.
Wow.
And so during those 2 hours, I do all my surgical planning for the upcoming week surgeries.
Excellent. Then you're done for the day. Those 2 hours, well spent, those investment of 2 hours, isn't it, for the week?
Right. It makes life a lot easier.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, what makes you passionate and motivated to get things done? Where does that stem from for you?
Well, I'm not the smartest guy, to be very honest. And so I've made up for that by being very hardworking. And so some of the work ethic's a little bit extreme where if I said to you, Tina, make me a new video every day, never miss a day for 2,300 days in a row.
Wow.
I've done it.
Yeah, you've done this. Yes. Yeah. And how was that journey doing it every day? Sometimes it would be up and down, wouldn't it? So you would feel, today I really don't want to make a video. And how did you get over that? And still
I have them lined up in a queue. So about the next month's worth of videos are already queued up and will post automatically. So I've learned I love learning new things. What makes me passionate? my passion is learning. I want to learn new things.
Yeah,
And
that's how you,
so,
isn't it?
right. So I learned how to do this. And so
Yes.
every morning at 2 a.m. Los Angeles time, which is 5 a.m. US East Coast time,
Wow.
the video goes up to CataractCoach.com. It goes to YouTube. It goes
Yeah.
to Instagram. It goes to Facebook and LinkedIn, all at the very same time, automatically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So even if I'm traveling the world and giving lectures elsewhere,
Yeah.
and I'm on a plane, it doesn't matter. It'll post automatically.
Amazing. Amazing. So how did you automate all of that? Did you use certain kind of software, or did you have help, or did you do it all on your own?
It's a lot of self-learning. You learn the hard way. You learn by kind of, you can teach. The beauty in medicine, the beauty of being a surgeon is
Yeah.
we can teach ourselves anything.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
if you come to my house, you may be surprised to see that like I have beautiful audio speakers that I made myself.
You
I feel
made yourself. Amazing.
like people are like, well, how could you make these yourself? I said, well, the first ones I made were terrible.
Yeah.
But now after 50 sets later, they're gorgeous. You'd have no idea. It's better than anything you could buy in the store.
It's
And so
amazing. And you put
it's a
your
learning process. So I
yeah.
told myself similarly, I said, listen, I know how to do eye surgery. That's pretty
Yeah.
challenging. That
Yeah.
puts me at least the top of the population there. Let me see, can I teach myself how to do automated posting? Yes, it's not that hard.
Ah, yeah. It's actually all in the mind, isn't it? If you can get around saying I can do it, then that's the first step. Would you say?
I always say, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. The
Yeah.
only differentiator is how hard you want to work. And remember, I'm a donkey. I don't care how hard you work. I promise I can work harder.
Yeah.
I'm tenacious. I will not give up.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you get kind of adrenaline rush from that? Saying to yourself that I can work harder, I can get this.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
more just like I set a challenge for myself, and I just
Yeah.
have to work hard to achieve it.
Okay.
Right? Like another thing. Like I used to when I was young. When I was 25 years ago,
Yeah.
I used to be able to bench press 225 pounds or 100 kilos,
Well.
which is very rare for the population.
Yeah.
So when COVID happened, I set a challenge for myself.
Yeah.
Can I return to that?
Really?
It
Wow.
took a few years, and
Yeah.
yes, I can return to that. Today, I can, please challenge me. I can bench press 100 kilos, no problem.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Can you tell us some funny story about when you're challenging yourself, or you set a goal and it didn't go the way, or
Yeah, I've got to find it. So I
yeah,
want, in Los Angeles,
yeah,
growing up as a young child here, I wasn't so smart, so I decided to do French in school, to learn French as a
yeah,
second language.
yeah,
Okay, we learned French, and then I'm now in medical school here in Los Angeles, and my population at this county or charity type hospital
yeah.
is about 85% in Spanish. So
Wow.
Los Angeles is a city where there's no majority population. It's a big mix of all a lot of different cultures, and a
Okay.
large portion in Los Angeles is Spanish
Yeah,
speaking, primarily Mexican culture, because we're so close to Mexico.
yeah, yeah.
So I go to the county hospital and say, oh my gosh, I don't speak Spanish. And these patients are like, only Spanish. And
And
you
then
realize how slow it was to be translating with a nurse every time, or it just
yeah,
took too long. So I said, I have to learn. So I
yeah.
got myself a card and I said, every day I want to just learn one new word or phrase a day. And I figure after a year, that's 365, it'll be pretty good. After 3 years, there's 1,000 new things I can say. I'll be
Wow.
pretty good. So I
Yeah.
said, one of the things you have to ask a patient, well, how old are you?
Mm.
So I wrote down the way the nurse told me how to write. I said, okay. So to the patient, I said, hey, ¿cuántos años tiene usted?
Mm-hmm.
And the patient started laughing and laughing. And then the patient says, solo uno, which means just one. And then I looked at the nurse. The nurse was falling out of her chair laughing too. And she says, here's the mistake you're making. In Spanish, there's the letter N,
Yeah.
and then there's the letter Nye, which is the letter N with a little squiggle on top.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So año with the squiggle, with A-N with the squiggle O, año is how many years do you have? ¿Cuántos
Oh,
años tiene usted? But ¿cuántos años tiene usted means how many anuses do you have?
oh my goodness.
So that one little squiggly mark above the N
Yeah.
is
Lost in
between
translation. Yeah.
anuses and years.
Wow. Wow. That's funny. That's a funny one. I bet that the nurse and the patient laughed for days after that.
Right, they did. So then I realized, okay, I better like do this a little bit more formally than just like writing
Yeah,
on the back of a card here.
yeah. And how long did it take you to learn Spanish then?
A couple of years. Y ahorita puedo hablar todo en español sin problema. So
Wow.
I was just in Barcelona for the ESTRS, and even
Yeah,
though they speak a little bit different Spanish, I was
yeah.
able to fully communicate at all times in Spanish.
Amazing, amazing. So, what would be the proudest moment for Uday then?
It's probably that my kids have learned to use their own brain, and they tell me to step back. Dad, I
Uh,
got it. I'm good.
okay, so you made your kids independent. That was your proudest moment.
That's for sure. They're both in medical school. I don't know
Amazing.
if either will do ophthalmology, but I didn't follow my father, so they don't have to follow their father.
And what did
And
your father do?
my father did ear, nose, and throat, ENT, head and neck surgery.
Okay, sure.
He,
So it's
he did his FRCS from Edinburgh.
amazing. So a
And then,
long line of doctors.
yeah, and then my mother did dermatology, and then all my siblings are physicians as well. So,
Oh wow. Okay, that's the big shoes to fill for the kids.
right. So yeah, I think they'll do their own thing. So my proudest moment is when my kids tell me, Dad, I'm good. I got this. Don't worry about it. I'm
Yeah,
independent.
yeah. That's lovely to hear. What about like the worst failure, if you like? You keep calling yourself not smart, and I'm sure you're very intelligent, but you keep calling yourself that. But what kind of failure you've come across, and how did you deal with it in your life?
Probably again with my kids. In my early to mid 30s, I used to travel a lot, as much as I do now.
Yeah.
So this year I'll do lectures in 21 countries.
Wow.
So when I was
Yeah.
younger, I did it as well. I traveled a ton to give lectures all over the world.
Yeah.
But I had a very poor work-life balance. And
Mm.
so one day I came home, and in the mailbox, because this is
Yeah.
before we were doing everything only electronic, I
Yeah.
got a letter from this hotel brand that says, "Hey, congratulations, you've made our diamond status." And I was like, "Yes, that sounds great." But then I read the next line. It says because you stayed in our hotels 63 nights last year. And
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I just thought I spent 1/6 of my life last year in their hotels, away
Mm.
from kids, away from my family. This
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That
And
put.
then I miss so much of my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And then how did you deal with that once you realized, that's what happened?
I figured mathematically, let me just go the opposite extreme and I'll even it out. So then
Yeah.
for like 7 years, I did zero ophthalmology meetings.
Uh,
I only, anytime there was an ophthalmology meeting, like a big American Academy of Ophthalmology or an ESCRS, instead I would take a family vacation.
okay.
And
So
then,
you tried to give it back. What you
right. And then when both my kids went to university,
Yeah.
away from home,
Yeah.
now I'm free. Now I've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
And so
So
now I can go back to being traveling the world and working so hard, and now it's okay.
yeah. And your kids must have appreciated that 7 years off and spending time with them.
I hope, but as kids get older, slowly they realize that their parents are okay.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
very famous saying by Mark Twain, the American author, who says, when I left home at 16, my father was just a blistering idiot. But when I came back home 6 years later, I was surprised just how much he had learned.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's amazing. And kids do appreciate it. They might not show it at the time, but they come around.
For sure. No, they're amazing kids.
So you've talked a lot about working hard and work ethics. What would be your unique selling point with I?
I mean, certainly it's hard work, but it's also, I think, understanding that it took me a while to figure this out.
Yeah.
Failure and success are on the same path.
Exactly. If you haven't failed, you haven't succeeded.
Right. So on my road to having this outcome, like let's
Yeah.
say my outcome is I want to be a fantastic tennis player. Well,
Yeah.
of course I'm going to win some matches, and of course I'm going to lose some.
Of course. Yeah.
So you have to understand that, okay, yeah, let me learn from my mistakes. Every tennis match that I lose,
Yeah.
there's a learning lesson there. And I
Yeah.
think if you can learn from your own mistakes, you're great. But
Yeah.
even better, if you can learn from mistakes of others, oh my gosh, you're really fantastic. And the beauty here is the new generation of ophthalmologists,
Yeah.
can learn from the mistakes of others because they have things like Cataract Coach, where I can show you a 5-minute video while you're drinking your coffee, eating your breakfast, and you can say, oh, look, this is a complication that happened, and you can learn from it. In fact, I had a case on Cataract Coach. I showed a video of a phaco wound burn. And one of the things you got right before the burn was the phaco tip was clogged. So at the tip of the phaco probe, you saw what looked like a smoke sign or a puff of smoke, which is pulverized lens material that's not being aspirated because the tube is blocked. A week later, I get another video sent to me by a resident here in the US who says, hey, I saw your video and that smoke sign, and look at this. I did my own case. I saw a little bit of that smoke sign, and I knew from your video, I better stop, come out of the eye, and flush the handpiece. And I did, and I prevented a phaco wound burn. So by that young doctor watching my video, he saved his patient from 13 diopters of irregular astigmatism.
Wow, amazing. Yeah, those little things do matter, and I'm glad. I've certainly gained so many tips from your cataractcoach.com videos. So yeah, I can understand that's brilliant. In terms of ophthalmology as a field, if there's any one thing you could change in that industry, what would it be?
I think to be more inclusive. Because here's the craziest part. If you take the nerdiest kids from high school, they're the very few that get into medical school.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you take these total geeks in medical school, and those are the ones that choose ophthalmology because it's such a competitive field. So now all of a sudden, listen, we're all geeks and nerds in ophthalmology. That's who we are. But now that you're done, you say, no, now we have to have an exclusive club. There's some exclusive little organizations. I won't even mention any names in ophthalmology. Well, you're not part of this or part. It's exclusive. Well, the word exclusive is exclusionary. That's exclusive is exclusionary.
Definitely.
So really, you can't look in the mirror and remember back when you were 19 or 18 years old, what you were the same nerd and dork as me. Come on, get over it. Be more inclusive.
Exactly. Yeah. Inclusion and diversity. That's where things should change. And
listen, be accepting to all, but I'm still old-fashioned. I still believe in merit.
Yes, it should be definitely based on merit. So that's the thing.
The U.S. has a problem with that right now.
What's the problem with U.S.?
They're choosing other factors in place of merit.
Oh, really? They have quota system?
I don't know if that's the correct word, but there are lots of factors other than merit. In fact, there was a U.S. Supreme Court case last year against Harvard showing that what they were doing was literally illegal.
Wow.
And so then the laws have been changed here in the U.S., but even then, change is slow.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, whoever is doing my surgery, head to toe, whether it's my brain surgery or my toe surgery, I just want the best surgeon.
Exactly.
And I don't mind anything else about you. You be you. Similarly, when I get on a plane to fly across the ocean, I want the pilot who scored at least 99th percentile on all exams.
Exactly.
The rest doesn't matter to me.
Exactly. You're right. It has to be based on merit, and then the diversity and inclusion factors.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So in ophthalmology, because there's a lot of myths in ophthalmology, and even now patients mistake us for opticians and optometrists. What kind of myths you've come across, and what kind of lessons you've learned throughout your career?
The myth is that I'm an absolute expert with glasses. Now, we can be competent in the whole eye, in all of ophthalmology. I can definitely be competent. But I can only be a true artist, a true world expert in a narrow subspecialty. Yes, I know I know enough about strabismus to be competent. I can evaluate a child, say, yes, you have a congenital esotropia. You probably need a bilateral medial rectus surgery. Okay, I can understand. But I could even do the surgery in a really competent way. But I'm not an artist at it. But when it comes to, let's say, cataract surgery or refractive surgery, I'm an artist. There are 1,000 videos of me operating online. You can watch them unedited, uncut. And I think you'll agree that's a really great surgeon.
I know.
I work hard to achieve. It wasn't always the case. My first phaco took me, gosh, how long? And it was so ugly.
Yeah, I know.
We get better. So I think we can only be a true surgical artist in a narrow subspecialty, whereas we can be competent in a lot of things. So if you come to me now with a very unusual retinal white dot syndrome,
Yeah.
I probably won't know.
Yeah. You probably refer on.
Right. And so that's why as we go on in our careers, we learn more and more
Yeah.
about a narrower and narrower topic.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how it should be, because then we can offer the best for our patient in that subject, in that subspecialty.
Right, especially if we're in big cities. So we have multiple other colleagues who can do other things. So I can very easily refer. I saw a patient with a retinal break and some subretinal fluid. Just sent to my retinal colleague.
Yeah.
Much better than me trying to figure it out my own.
Exactly.
But if you're in a small town, you may have to use your competence in all of ophthalmology to do a
Yeah.
much wider scope of work. But then
Yeah.
it's hard to be a true artist in everything.
Yeah. And it's not possible. It's humanly not possible to be good at everything.
It's tough.
Yeah. You have to choose
There
which
are only so many hours, right? There
Yeah.
are only so many hours.
So in terms of those listening who are younger, ophthalmology in making, what are your top tips for success?
I think the most important is keep learning. The way you do surgery today
Yeah.
is not the way you're going to do it in 10 years. I promise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
think about it. If I only operated the way that I learned in residency, which was more than 20 years ago,
Then that would be a bit sad.
things didn't exist then. There was
Yeah.
no OCT machine. There was no anti-VEGF. There was no
Yeah.
lamellar corneal transplantation. There was no femtosecond laser. There was no dual shine fluke tomography.
Yeah.
Didn't exist.
Yeah.
All these things I taught myself as we're going on.
Yeah. Keep learning. So
You got to
that's
keep learning. You got to learn from every surgery. When I work with a young resident or registrar, as you would say, if I can tell right off the bat, as soon as I walk in the operating room, will they be successful? And you know how I tell? Do they put a memory stick, a USB drive, to record their surgery?
Yeah.
Or do they say, no, I didn't bring my memory stick. I'm not going to record this one. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I record every case.
Yeah.
I record every case I do. Now, mind you, it's like I record over the routine ones that are straightforward. I don't save all the videos.
Yeah.
But at least I record it, so in case something happens.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, isn't it? Those moments that you're going to miss. Yeah. So you have to
absolutely. So you want to record every video. So that's one. Another one is be your own toughest critic.
Yeah.
Don't be so easy on yourself. Don't say, no, I'm pretty good. No, you could be better.
Yeah.
In fact, why do I want to be your cataract coach? Why did I choose cataract coach? Well, first, it sounds kind of nice because the alliteration with the C and the C,
yes,
cataract coach.
I'm thinking of the alliteration, yeah.
But more important than that, though, is just think about this. The world's best tennis player, Roger Federer, has a coach.
Yeah.
Why? He could beat his coach at tennis right now.
Definitely.
And he needs someone from the outside to say, no, let me teach you a few things.
Yeah.
Let me evaluate you and give you some constructive criticism.
Yes. Because
you need to be your own toughest critic. That's the most important thing. And cataract coaches, like, let me help coach you. Be amenable or open to learning, to coaching.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So open to learning, that's the only way to growth, really. So in terms of your future, what's next for Uday?
Well, I mean, I'm in a great position now. I have a very beautiful private clinic and surgery center in Beverly Hills here in Los Angeles. Yeah. I'm doing as much surgery as I want. So in fact, I want to actually do a little bit less surgery these days. I'm traveling the world with cataract coach, meeting so many new colleagues. I'm just living my best life. It's a little bit different of a mindset. After the age of 50, you realize, and I didn't realize this before, that at 50, you say, for sure, I'm on the second half of life.
Yeah.
When I'm 45, I can say, no, I'm still on the first half of life. Okay, okay. When you hit the big 5-0, you're like, no, I'm solidly halfway through life, easily.
Yeah.
And so let me say, now, time and happiness are my most valuable assets.
Yes.
And I don't.
Yeah.
Right. And I will never trade my time and happiness for more money.
Yeah.
I don't want the money. I want time and happiness. I want to enjoy this experience before my clock runs out.
Exactly. Time will never come back, but your money will come and go, isn't it?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, what's important? My father recently passed away, and it doesn't matter. He just wanted to enjoy time with his family. So at the end of the day, what matters?
Yeah, definitely. Family matters. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, relationships matter.
Yeah.
Some beautiful life experiences matter. And that's about it.
Yeah. Those connections are important. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. Finally, my last bit of advice for a young listener is watch a 5-minute video every day so you can pick up a little pearl to get better. If you can get 1% better a week,
Yeah.
1%, and compound that over a year, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, what an improvement. A
Exactly.
massive improvement.
Yeah. Those little and often matters, isn't it? It will all add up at the end and make you a
Right.
better
And
surgeon.
as you become a more experienced surgeon, if you've done 1,000 cataracts and you watch Cataract Coach, you will realize I am teaching you all of the secrets in ophthalmology. You know why it's so popular? I give away all of the secrets. The stuff that your professors didn't really teach you. I'm spilling all the secrets.
I know, that's why we go to your resource. That's brilliant. Thank you, Uday. Yeah, thank you for coming on the show, and really appreciate you taking time out so early in Los Angeles and doing this podcast with me. We'll have to have you back again and talk about your business success in terms of clinic setup and things another time. But yeah, thank you very much for inspiring our listeners and keep motivating our future surgeons. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.